Welcome to part 2 of We Paint the War Tub. Or, as I'm beginning to call this, what have I gotten myself into part 2? I decided to paint my boat again. And I have been removing all the paint off the outside. This baby had an existing paint job with stripes on it. It was left out in the winter, all winter long, scraped up against the dock. Long story short, I just painted it over with silver paint. And so I have taken every bit of paint off this thing down to the aluminum, and away we go. And to accomplish that, I was using these paint remover blocks. I initially thought they were from Harbor Freight. However, it turns out they're from 3M. So this will be the third one I've used, and expect to finish it up with this. Also, I did some experimentation with paint removal things, and I tried some wire brushes. They didn't work out too well, but one of the first ones that I tried was this little light wire brush. It actually doesn't do worth a darn on the side because it tends to gouge the paint, but this outside edge right here, nice big aluminum, I don't know what you call it. Leave it in the comments below. What is it, a rail? It's a rail. Thank you. Yeah, I heard you. So going over this, and it makes them look like brand new. So I mean, it doesn't take out the gouges and everything, but it does make them look a lot better. And finally, and I'm finishing the job with a random orbital sander. And finally, orbital sander was and finally, going over the whole thing with a random orbital sander loaded with 220 grit sandpaper to get it as smooth as possible. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Appreciate you. Here we go. Here's a little something I want to show you. I run monster rod holders on my boat, and here's what happens when you back your boat in and your monster rod holder hits your 4x4 roof support. Here's what it did to my boat on the rail. Here's what it did to the monster rod holder. Nothing. That thing is straight as the day I got it. So there you go with that. Anyhow, so I got the thing all washed off, and now it's finally time for paint. Outside, I did a little test spray. A little bit too hot outside, a little bit too humid. So actually I moved it into my garage, set up sort of a temporary paint booth. I'll show you how I'm going to do that as we get moving along. I'm going to wait till the morning till it cools down a little bit, put some plastic around this thing, get spraying it on. Here we go. All right, it's the moment I've been waiting for. If you're watching this video, maybe you are too. Anyhow, rattle canning this baby. Here's what we're using. This is Rust-Oleum Professional, and the color is 7570 Almond. And same brand of primer, which we're going to lay down a coat of primer on here. Okay, now the sucker's painted up. And yes, sometimes I do things just because I can. That last little video part is proof of that. We're gonna decal this baby up and get ready to hit the river. Okay, so as you can see, I've already put one decal on here now. This next one is a really big, long one. And what you do when you've got a great big decal like this, you put a big piece of tape down the middle of it. That way, you get it where you want it. You can fold off this side and stick them down. So we'll do that now. Okay, so we've already got our hinge here. So what we do now is we come up here and we start peeling the backing off here. And my nephew Justin's gonna hold this. But you come along here and you cut off the backing part. And Now, this is held just perfectly from where we had it a little while ago. So we're gonna go ahead and lay this down. And by the way, while I'm doing this, for you folks that aren't familiar with my channel or Catfish Clothing, you might be saying, well, Catfish is spelled wrong. No, it's not. That's the way we spell Catfish Clothing. And by the way, I'll put a link down below and let you have an opportunity to check out their store and their stuff. They've got everything. They've got t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, hooks, and actually their line of fishing stuff is growing a little bit. So check them out. Okay. Now we're going to do the other side. And the beauty of this is, once it's done like so, everything's in place now. I don't have to worry about stuff flopping around. And this is good old painter's tape, by the way. You don't want to use duct tape, all right? I mean, you could. That makes for an interesting video, no doubt about that. Do that if you must. But okay, so the second part's already ready to go. And they got the beautiful hinge right here holding everything in place. All right, so there's that. We got one more decal to do and 8 more sides to do.
Just 2.
How many?
1.
One more. All right, I showed you the hinge method back there for putting on decals. Now I'm going to show you the Redneck Ohio way. Take your decal, bam, just like that. All right, guys, there it is, all done up and ready to go fishing. Thank y'all for tuning in to this video. Be sure and hit subscribe and like, share this video out with your friends or whatever. And I, for one, am glad that this thing's over. It was a lot more work than I intended. Maybe next time we'll get a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. Till next time, bye, y'all.